It is another beautiful day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it.
And I'm glad you could join us.
How does that mask smell? I've never washed it.
Like a soft taco you find in a couch cushion.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
So a subscriber contacted me, and wait, you're subscribed, aren't you?
I just bought your hammer handle kit, actually.
Is that the where's the hammer handle?
I had to use it for something else.
So you're subscribed, right? Hold on a second.
I'm in danger.
So now new subscriber drove 24 hours. Wasn't it like 24 hours?
Like 8.
Yeah, so a new subscriber just drove 24 hours to deliver me this thing. Check this out. It is so sweet. Oh, man, it's like a 65 or something. So it needs to be all assembled. It probably doesn't run, and it's going to be a great project. So let's get this thing unloaded. So here is what we scored on. Sorry about the background noise, but it is currently a monsoon outside. So we've got the bike, motor, tank. I think it's all there. A few broken bolts. 1, 2, not that one, that's a dually. 1, 2, 3 tires for a 2-tired vehicle. Oh, wait. That one belongs to it. That one belongs to it. You can tell because it has speedometer and brake. And this has speedometer, brake. This one has no speedometer. Oh, it's a no accountability front tire. See, 2025, no accountability. I can't be speeding if I don't know how fast I'm going. Smart. We've got the remnants of a seat. Looks like a back rack, exhaust, rear fender taillight combo, and the foot pegs / kickstands. So how about if we get these pieces and parts kind of put together and see if we're missing anything? That's kind of what I'm thinking, and then we'll do let me learn you something with kicks. Speaking of parts and pieces, Reese's Pieces. It's an M&M. Who would leave an M&M on the shop floor? Now I gotta go wash my mouth out with coffee.
Grab yourself a little piece of pure Michigan.
All right. Enough dorking around with eating food off the floor. Let's get this thing assembled. Come on a yeah! And it stopped raining. So let's get this thing outside and do a little walk around and show you what we got. I mean, we're only like 5 minutes into the video and you don't even really know what we have going on. I mean, real professional kicks. Real professional.
Come on, yeah!
Whee! Hey, speedometer works. Heel clicker. No heel clickers. This is a 1965 Kawasaki model J1. Behold its glory. It has an 85cc 2-stroke, not oil injected, premix like real men engine with an aluminum head and a cast iron jug. You can tell it's got aluminum head and a cast iron jug because the way it is.
This is an aspen. You can tell that it's an aspen tree because of the way it is.
The entire bike is covered in a nice film of red iron oxide primer. And oh whammy. Oh whammy. It's missing the front brake pin connector thingy. That's a scientific term for it, but it's not a big deal because we're also missing the front brake lever, so that's fine. We're also missing the front, the handlebar connector. It's a little piece of pipe that, well, somebody had maybe welded in here at one time. I don't know. It's probably laying at the end of someone's driveway or out in the woods or something, so yeah, that's fine. The wiring is not really all connected, but I mean, it's just the turn signals, and we don't have any turn signals anyway, so that's fine. The gas tank actually, it looks amazing. There's still paint in there. It came with the key, and it does key things, so that's good. It has some original pinstriping. And behind here should be the battery, I believe. Ew. Ew. Oh, toolkit. I think I'm gonna need a screwdriver to get that knot out. Okay, we'll investigate that one later. The seat is there. Fixed. It has the finest Chen Shin tires out of Taiwan with a few more electrical issues and another whammy. The air filter should be behind this cover. Nope. Yep, no filter. Here's the part where you play that song. No filter, I got no filter. No filter, I got no filter. I got no filter. No filter, I got no filter. No filter, I got no filter. No filter. Ooh, but there are goodies down here. Ooh, what do we have? Homemade spark plug wrench. Approved. And, oh, mouse house, ew. And a spark plug. Scored. The kickstart has not been kicked or started in a long time. There we go. But good news is it turns over and it feels like it's got compression. And we are definitely missing a lot of bolts. And some bolts aren't the right bolts. But none of that should stop us from seeing if this thing will actually run. However, I am going to first jam a plastic bag down the intake and hit this greasy motor with my patented Kix Bryant Kawasaki J1 degreaser. It's definitely not oven cleaner. It's oven cleaner. So while these scrubbing bubbles do their job,
They clean the bowl so you don't have to.
how about if we do let me learn you something with Kix? You may know this, but I bet you some of you don't. In 1966, Kawasaki Motors of Japan shipped 1,000 of these Model J1s from Japan to an old meat warehouse in Chicago to start their stab at the American market. And only a handful of these 1,000 were the 1965 model year, like we have here, making this somewhat rare bike for the United States. They were offered in black, maroon, rocket red, and Balboa blue, which is the color we have somewhere here under the red iron oxide primer spray. And they were also offered in two styles, the J1 and the J1 TRL, which was the trail version, TRL, with shock boots, higher front fender, taller handlebars, and a higher mounted exhaust, so you could burn your leg when you wiped out. But all my information came from the interwebs, so take that into consideration. Well, except for that wipeout thing. I know that from firsthand experience. But here's a fact that I can tell you with absolute certainty, and that's that a certain YouTuber with over 600 subscribers learned to ride a motorcycle on a Kawasaki J1. Aw, look at cute little kicks on a J1. Dang! I should have sprayed the whole bike down with this stuff. So I think my plan of attack is going to be to start at the top and work my way down to see if we can't get this thing running. I mean, the gas tank looks really nice from what I can see inside of it, but I think we should probably take a better look, and it sounds like to me that there is... Oh, that's weird. That's loose. Oh, okay.
Squirrel.
So what I noticed is that the grease and dirt and stuff doesn't mark up. See how there's like, you can see it's off. So I was like, that's weird. And guess what? Yeah, it's loose. Okay, so we'll have to tighten that down. Back to this. So like I was saying, it looks really nice in here. See if I can't get you in here better. I mean, it's not, I guess it's a little rusty. Yeah, maybe. It's a little rusty in there, but... and I can hear... I don't know. Let me shake this. See, you can see a little bit in there. So there's gas, and it smells like... Klotz. Klotz racing fuel. Oh, man, it smells like racing. This thing must be a ripper.
Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, or ADHD, is a condition characterized by difficulties with attention and/or hyperactivity and impulsivity.
Is there even a better smell? It smells like racing. Well, I mean, diesel smells pretty good too. Okay, diesel and Klotz. Oh yeah. So, I don't know how long this thing has been since it ran. 15, 20, I don't know, years, 30, 40. I don't know. It was in pieces, needless to say, and I'm sure it was definitely stored properly. Not. So, the good news is the petcock is on off, and so before I even want to mess with that, I think I'm going to try and just drain this tank. If it's been sitting that long, it's probably half evaporated, and it's just oil sitting down there. So let's pull the petcock out and just see what we have going on there. All right, here goes nothing. Well, it's got some stuff in it. Let's just see. I hope my bucket's big enough. Oh. I hope my bucket's big enough. Oh, there's a lot in there. Uh-oh. It's not that bad. It's not that bad at all. It wasn't even gummy. Hey. All right, that's good news. All right, I emptied out my little cup bucket thing there, and I got some fresh still 2-stroke, and I'm just gonna pour it through there because I want to see just how gross this is. I mean, since we're here, let's just give this a try and see what it looks like. Oh yeah, that's not bad at all. I don't even see any chunks. Yeah. All right, scored. Gas tank is mint. So I should probably check that spark plug, but the thing that's weighing heavy on my heart right now is the mouse house that was in the air box. So let me get this thing turned around and we'll take a look at that. So since there's a mouse house in here, there we go, and no air cleaner, get you down in here, let's see if you can see it. Yeah, there's remnants of a mouse house down in here. My big concern is that well, my bag's jammed in there, but there was no air filter on there. My concern is that a mouse got into the intake, and I know what some of you are thinking. Some of you are thinking, Kix, you're missing a carburetor. Well, the reason why you don't see the carburetor is because this is a rotary disc two-stroke, which, well, I'm going to say it. They're the best two-strokes. There, I said it.
Right.
So for those of you who don't know what a rotary disc or a rotary valve two-stroke is, the carburetor is actually behind this cover. So you have your clutch cable, your fuel line, your throttle cable, and your choke cable. And behind the carburetor, in between the combustion chamber and the carburetor, you have a disc or a valve that's timed, hooked up to your crankshaft, that spins and has a hole in it that allows fuel at the precise moment into the combustion chamber. I already did a Let Me Learn You Something with Kix. I don't think I'm allowed to do two of them, am I? Maybe? I don't know. Well, let me show you. So pretend this is your carburetor. I know it's not. It's a Honda carburetor off an ATC 200. Ducky strikes again. So anyways, pretend this is ADHD. Okay, so here's your disc, and it's mounted to the crankshaft, and it's spinning, right? And so as it's spinning, gets to a time spot, boom, you're the combustion chamber, so it's letting fuel in. And there it's cutting it off. That's exactly how a rotary disc or rotary valve works. They put them on like snowmobiles, RC cars I think are really popular with that. The problem I have is that the early ones, like we should have here in 1965, were made out of like a plastic polymer stuff. And well, 60-year-old plastic trapped inside a motor that gets, kind of hot. Yeah, I kind of wanted to do out of sight, out of mind and pretend like it was just fine. However, the mouse house that may be in here I think is more concerning because I don't even know if we can even get parts for this, so we don't want to suck stuff into it. So I think I'm going to take this cover off and we're just going to see. Well, that was easier said than done. A couple of them are just, completely stripped out, but flat tip screwdriver to the rescue. Yeah, you can make it work. So this screw identifies as a flat tip now, not a Phillips head. And since I don't have this gasket, and I don't even know if you can get this gasket, I'm going to kind of work it with the back edge of a razor blade here and see if I can't save it so we can reuse upon it. I'm green. Let's reuse it. All right, I think I got the gasket all loose. So let's see what's behind door number 1. Ooh, hey. It's not that bad. There's some mud in there, but it's not that bad. So let me get you guys in here. Yeah, there's some just mud and crud, but look at that slide. Let me see if I can pull the throttle. Let's see. That looks nice. I'm not even gonna cry about that. And then up in here, you can kind of see, but way up in there is where the air comes in. Comes past through there, into here, and then, boom, into your carburetor. Here's the clutch side. Everything looks good there. Everything feels tight. I don't feel anything loose. Let me grab the clutch cable and... Yeah, it's doing clutch things. So that looks fine. And we saved that gasket, so that's nice. I think I want to just clean this all out the best I can. And the only bad thing I see is this cover at one point in time looks like it took a little whammy. And it's just cast aluminum, but it's not all the way through. I don't think. So I think that'll be fine. Plus, I don't even know where you'd get that cover from. So I'm going to clean all of this all up, and I will throw that cover back on, and we'll move on. And before I forget, that rotor, disc, valve, whatever you want to call it, that's actually back here. So it's back in here. So it's still out of sight, out of mind. We're good to go. Ooh. Ah, nice and clean. And mouse house eliminated. Oh, and also while I was in there, check out what I found. Also had in there, looks like a master link and kind of concerning, but a keyway. However, that's pretty old and gross, and racing. This was a racer. However, I mean, spare plug. Nope. Old gross torch. Ugh. Well, we might be able to clean it up and reuse. I don't even think that's the right one for this. All right. Cover is back on. I want to check for sparkles now, I think. And, I mean, yeah, that's I don't think that, that'll be fine. So, let's just see what Mr. Plug looks like here. Oh, yeah. How long is this thing? All right, here we go. And survey says, oh, it ran a little rich, I think. It's not bad, though. All right. Yeah, I mean, I guess you'd rather have a two-stroke rich than lean. So, well, let's get this thing cleaned up, and then we'll check for spark. Clean plug, check. Key on, check. Kickstart. Nope. Oh, hold on. Oh, yeah. Kickstart. Check. Turn off the lights. Let's see what we got. Oh, yeah. Let me get you in there. Oh, yeah. See that? We got spark. Oh, yeah. That's good spark, too. Well, I'm going to assume that since it's leaking oil, that usually means there's oil in it. But maybe we'll check that just for funsies. I mean, just for funsies. Nothing. Yep, nothing. Well, you know what assume stands for. I guess the next step is to just mix up some gas and see if we don't have to rebuild that carburetor we just covered back over. Well, it looked clean. So, according to the keyboard warriors of the old interwebs, this thing is supposed to run 15-to-1 to 20-to-1 mix. And I think I thumbed through the online manual and it said 20-to-1. So, I really don't want to have to go to town. I think I'm just going to see what I can dig up for mix around here. Let me just see what I can find. Since this J1 is obviously a race bike, I mean, obviously, I figure I would only run racing lubes in it. So here's what I got. I found a bottle of Kawasaki and a bottle of Yo Mama lube. And since this is a Kawasaki, we don't run Yo Mama lube.
That's racist.
I've got about half a gallon of Kawasaki 20-to-1 in it. Key is on. Fuel is on. Choke lever is broken, but if I kind of hold it like this, I can make it work. So let's give it some kicks. Get it? Kicks. And see if it starts. So I'm pretty sure we have a fuel problem on our hands, seeing how we had really good spark and we never confirmed that fuel was actually getting to the carburetor. Yeah, my bad. And it looks to me that there's a sediment bowl on the bottom of this petcock. So let's just turn this off and see what we have going on in here. And we have nothing. I didn't even think, it didn't even look that bad in there. All right, there's a gasket. So let's just see what's, nothing. Oh, wait, that's the little pointer. It's been at, oh, remember when I said, the good news is the petcock is on off.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
So that says number 2 there and number 1 here. And so actually I think that is off. So it's been on reserve the whole time. But hey, I shouldn't feel too bad because I was right when I said, sure, it was definitely stored properly. Not.
The lie detector determined you're telling the truth.
So let's do the push of shame and get this thing back up into the shop and see if we can't clean this and the whole line out, I guess. Since I don't want to lose a single precious drop of our ethanol-free 20-to-1 Kawasaki race fuel when I pull that petcock out, I figure I probably don't want to use my handy-dandy trusty fuel catching container. I think I'm going to use frozen yogurt container, and it's got a lid on it so the gas will stay fresh. Have you ever had one of those moments where you feel like you've done something before, but you just can't remember when? Yeah, me neither. Don't break the 60-year-old fuel line. Don't break the 60-year-old fuel line. We don't want to go to town. Don't break. Ow. Saved it. Maybe. Oh, that one's not clogged. Definitely. So I think the carburetor's probably fine. It doesn't have any junk in there. Oh, did I mention? It's raining again. Listen. Yeah. So we're on that. Let's see about this bad boy. That is definitely clogged. And turn this to 2. All right, I might need to get a wire or something, try and poke this thing out. Well, the wire didn't work, so I think I thought I could do it the easy way, right? And just blow through it. So I'm gonna see if I can't, oh yeah, that came loose. I'm just gonna take the whole thing apart. So this ring, I believe, holds all the guts in. All right, ring is loose. It's gonna take a little jiggling. Oh, ew. Yeah, that's that's definitely clogged with rust and yeah, we'll hose this thing out. There you go. Perfect? No. Way better than what it was? Oh yeah, you betcha. So let's assemble this thing back together and just see how bad it leaks, because I'm sure it's gonna leak. Well, here goes nothing. Don't spill, don't spill. Well, it leaks a little bit. But, I mean, that's not too bad. I can live with that. So that's on off. There's... Yeah, and then... There we go. That's livable. I'm gonna call that livable. And I found a new O-ring. See? It'll be fine. It'll be just fine. Ka-cha! All right. We'll put it on reserve because there's not that much in there. Doesn't look like it's leaking on the line. And look, it's not leaking there. See, no one's gonna know except for me and you. that it leaks a little bit. It'll be fine. It'll be just fine. So were my plans to go ahead and just, try and start it and not have to deal with that carburetor? Yeah, that was my plans. However, well, we got this. Oh, SpaghettiOs. That's not oil anymore. That's that's gas. So it looks like the cover's coming off. Let's get this thing turned around. Flat tip screwdriver for the win. All right, let's see what we got going on here. Ooh. Well, that banjo fitting looks fine. So I thought it would be leaking from there. All right, banjo fitting's not leaking. Oh, let's see if I can get you in here. Turn the light on. Yeah, I think it's leaking from the gasket maybe, or I guess the float could be stuck. My big concern is, see back in here, see that hole? Yeah, I think that goes into the crankcase. So we probably don't want to just dump fuel into the crankcase. However, it is currently leaking out. I think, yeah, we're just gonna have to pull out this carburetor and see what it's about. I guess I could hit it with a screwdriver and see if it stops. We'll try that first because, laziness. Jam this up in here. There we go. Did it stop? Nope. All right. Let's pull out this carburetor. Oh, and did you notice that the same amount of drip we have coming out of our carburetor is the same that came out of the petcock? Yeah. See, if we didn't have a leaky petcock, we wouldn't know we had a leaky carburetor. And then this bike would have just burnt to the ground. So our laziness totally saved our lives. Nice. Tank's drained. Again. At this point, I'm pretty much a professional at draining tanks. I should probably just quit YouTube and start a professional tank draining service. Do you have a tank you need drained, but you don't have the proper equipment? Hi, I'm Kix Bryant. I'm the owner of Kix Bryant Tank Draining Services, where I can fulfill all your tank draining needs. I do big tanks, little tanks, and even vintage Kawasaki tanks. Call me for all your tank draining needs. If you have a tank you need to drain, call Kix Bryant, it won't be a pain. Call me today. Nah, that sounds like way too much work. Plus, I have way more fun making YouTube videos. Check out what the engineers put in here, this little plug, so that way mechanics could have better access to the carburetor. I mean, they don't do it like that anymore now, do they? There it goes. Yeah, look what you can get access to. There's the clamp that holds the carburetor on. It's pretty neat.
How neat is that? That's pretty neat.
Ka-cha! The Mikuni is off. It doesn't look that bad in there, but before we tear into this thing, I need to confess something. Remember how I said I thought this hole drained into the crankcase? Yeah, it doesn't. It just drains out onto the ground, so the oil should be fine. It feels absolutely full, and hear this? Sounds like the float's floating, so, ew, let me drain this thing out and we'll pull the bowl off of this thing. These screws were, like finger loose, which is, fine, but that could be why it was leaking. Maybe not. This thing is stuck on here. All right, give it a little taps. Man. All right, we don't want to wreck that gasket. Screwdriver hammer for the win. It is. There we, hey! All right, let's see what we have going on here. Ooh, there's some gunk in there, but I don't know. So there definitely was some junk down in the bottom here, but I don't know about that. The floats aren't full of anything, so I'm going to call that good. And it's probably hard to see, but this needle and seat, they're not stuck. So I'm just going to hose this thing all out and put it back together and see if it fixed itself. Well, a little crud came out, but nothing was clogged. The only thing I can think of is maybe they had this float adjusted for race specs because this was a race bike, so it was like float set to wide open throttle or something. So I'm just going to put it back to factory specs. There we go. And reassemble this and make sure that everything works, I guess. Or maybe, just maybe, follow along with me here. Maybe this thing got parked because it was leaking gas. The float was out of adjustment, which overfilled the bowl and caused it to leak out the bottom hole there. Then to drip down this hole and onto the ground. And nobody wanted to mess with it because they couldn't find the carburetor. Nah, it was probably a race bike. Yeah, we're going to go with race bike. And the carb's all back together. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Kix, you took the carburetor off. You showed us that stupid hole that doesn't go into the crankcase. But you won't show us what's in there so we can see that rotary valve dealie? Well, I said out of sight, out of mind. And I don't want to see what's in there. So since I'm a giving person and you are my subscribers, I guess I'll show you what's in there, but subscribers only, like no one else. Like if you're not subscribed, you got to close your eyes. It's the rules. I don't make up the rules. I just follow them. Or here, I'll give you a second to subscribe. Here. There, do it. Okay, good. Now you're subscribed. Well, here goes nothing. Can you see it? I mean, I'm not looking. So let me kick over the kickstart. Does it look okay? Does it look like it's all there? I think there's supposed to be like 4 holes in it maybe, or 2, I don't remember. All right, there, you saw it. No, I'm not gonna look. All right, I looked, but only because I had to get the shot for you guys. That's the only reason. So let's get this carburetor on there and see if it'll work. Here goes nothing. Fuel line. Reserve. No more leaks. No more leaks. No more leaks. I don't see any leaks. Let's let that set for a minute or two. Dry as a bone, and according to my watch, it's been about 15 minutes. So let's get this thing all buttoned together and give it a few more kicks. Get it? Kicks? Oh, that joke will never get old. Here goes nothing. First kick. What a sweetheart! Oh man, well, it looks like the petcock's leaking a little bit. Yeah, it's leaking a little bit. Oh, it sounds good, doesn't it? Well, I guess all that's left to do is to see if the transmission works. Lost the chain. I take that back. I didn't lose the chain. I broke the chain. Or, you know, the master came loose. But luckily, it came with spares. Or they were never on. I don't know. I didn't really look that good. Link is fixed. I probably could have taken it out because there's actually another master link right next to it. And I adjusted it way out to make it actually be tight. The petcock is still leaking slightly, but I think it's slowly fixing itself, so that's okay. We're still missing all the bolts that hold the seat on, but I don't care. I want to keep riding it. I gotta ride it. This thing runs so good. Oh, and the clutch still definitely needs to be adjusted, but I think if we just roll it and pop it in gear, it'll be fine. I don't know, you ever get one of those projects where you get it running, you just want to ride it around. So let's go tool around with it and see if we can work out any more bugs. And who knows, maybe the seat will fall off. That'll be a pretty good video, I guess.
How dare you?
What a ripper. Man, does this thing move. It's so much fun. And everything shifts fine. It runs just absolutely amazing. The only thing I'm thinking is, I think, let's try and clean this thing up. So you can see where that oven cleaner, the J1 degreaser, where it got on the exhaust, and then it also got like up here onto the paint. And so here's where it's not on the paint. There's where it was on the paint. I'm wondering if we can't clean that up, and I would like to try and, get some of this red iron oxide primer off. Just see what it actually looks like cleaned up. Before hosing this thing down with my patented Kix Bryant J1 degreaser, I should probably tell you that this might not be your best option for degreasing for degreasing a vehicle or even spraying it on your paint. I'm pretty sure that this is maybe enamel or a lacquer, but if this was base coat, clear coat, you definitely probably wouldn't want to spray this on there. Unless you don't care about the paint job. all I can say is, wow, what a transformation. This is like those movies from the 80s and 90s where like the nerdy girl goes to the prom and takes her glasses off and lets her hair down. And everybody's like, who is that? Oh, she's so good looking. Well, we took the glasses off and let the hair down on this J1 for sure. So till next time, don't forget, be blessed. Peace. You don't need to worry about tearing up your yard with your Kawasaki race bike. It's just less grass you have to mow. Be blessed. Peace.